Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we're talking about some big news coming out of the League of Legends world. This is obviously regarding the TSM investigation, the internal investigation, third-party investigation, whatever. We're going to jump into all of that. Being conducted by TSM or their third party or whatever against Reginald, obviously for a lot of the different accusations and claims that have been made by different people in the community, former TSM players, staff, all this kind of stuff. This story's been going on for so long. I want to say it started in late 2021, early 2022. It's damn near June at this point. But we finally have a huge update regarding the situation. It's a ton to talk about, so let's just get going. Definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy this. I would appreciate that a ton. And subscribe, save today, and all my lasted content. Help us run those numbers up. With that being said, here we go. This is the big tweet, the banger-ranger that is the talk of the League of Legends world right now. TSM Reginald, Andy, his check mark and all, tweeted out this TSM investigation results. Read, and we got a twit longer. And whenever there's a twit longer in esports, you know things are about to get spicy. You know things are about to get pretty interesting. I think this kind of weird how eerie and robotic this is. Like TSM investigation results, twit longer. I don't know, kind of weird, kind of a strange package, kind of strange way to put this all out and to make your statement. But whatever, that's probably getting a little too over analytical or whatever. We'll give him a chance here. So here is the twit longer results from the TSM investigation. I definitely have a lot of opinions about this. Overall, I think it's pretty comedic. There are some cool things. There are some interesting things. But overall, I don't know. I think this whole thing is very memeable, and the community has definitely been taking their opportunity at that. So, in late November 2021, late 2021, concerning claims were made by former employees, players, and other individuals about my behavior as TSM's CEO. Upon learning about these allegations, TSM's board of directors immediately created a special board subcommittee and hired an independent outside investigator to begin an internal investigation. It was extremely important to me that this investigation was in-depth and thorough as possible. As possible. So I fully recused myself from the process and also preemptively agreed to follow through on any recommendations from the subcommittee. Okay, we'll see. I think a lot of that's good. Also, at the same time, Reginald is still, it says in his Twitter bio, he is still the CEO of TSM in the Blitz app. So I don't know. It's good. And I'm glad, they have subcommittees. I'm glad he's staying out of it. He's saying he's staying out of it, whatever. I mean, there's no way for anyone to really know, I guess, except people on the inside. But also just everything's a little bit weird. It's still the TSM board of directors. It's still, he is the CEO of the company at the end of the day. I don't know. There is a lot of hey, are people within your org really going to investigate your own CEO to the fullest extent? Are they really going to discipline your CEO to the fullest extent? Are they really going to, come out and say that their CEO is doing these horrible things? There's so many different, I guess, incentives from different parties here and biases and all this stuff going on. I don't know. This whole thing, just a little bit silly at the end of the day. But we'll get into what they actually found or what's going on. After interviewing over 30 current and past employees and contractors, including all current League of Legends players, the investigator found no evidence of any unlawful behavior on the part of the company, its executives, or by me personally. In addition, not a single witness described any systemic and or isolated incidents of sexual harassment or gender discrimination. Now, this paragraph here is a load of PR bullshit, and I really think it's a slap in the face to everyone reading this and it's kind of almost an insult to everyone's intelligence that this is even kind of the big bombshell here. This is his beginning. He has his intro paragraph and then he drops the bomb on us of there was no unlawful behavior. So obviously he's saying nothing illegal happened and that there was no sexual harassment or gender discrimination. What about everything else? Hey, great. It's good you didn't do anything illegal. It's great there was no sexual harassment. It's great there was no gender discrimination. But is that mainly what the people were accusing you of? I would say no. Yes, there was, some things coming out about how TSM maybe has some illegal practices going on with, how they deal with contractors and stuff like that, and some of those things. Maybe there was some sexual harassment claims or gender discrimination claims. I didn't hear too much of that. Most of the allegations were, hey, you are a bully. You are a dickhead. You are horrible to work for. You are a toxic manipulator. You treat people horribly. You treat treat people like they are subhuman. You are a misery to work for and be around, and you create a toxic environment and a toxic culture that has incited all these people to leave. It's hurt people. It's been physical, emotional, whatever, not physical, but emotional, mental, whatever abuse that you've been putting people through. Those are the allegations. That is what people are accusing you of. That's what some players, former employees, people like that have come out and said. That's what Doublelift had said in the beginning. So to say, hey, guys, guess what? We talked to 30 current and past employees. No sexual harassment here. No gender discrimination. Nothing illegal. Boom. There's our investigation. That's weird. That's bizarre. This is a giant nothing burger. And like I said, this is just really a slap in the face / hilarious / comedic / so memeable. And there's so much here. There's a huge twit, not huge, but it's a couple paragraph twit longer. That doesn't say a whole lot. And that's just kind of weird. Also, I do think this part, this is kind of a smaller detail, but I think this is weird too. He said over 30 current and past employees, including all of the current League of Legends players. Like, hold up. How is this a good representation of an environment where people are able to tell the truth and actually say what's happened and actually recall details if it's not even anonymous? How do you know that? How does Reggie himself know that all the current League of Legends players were interviewed and talked to and stuff? If they know, if Reggie knows who's being talked to and they know that Reggie knows who's being talked to, how can this be legitimate? How can this be Reggie removing himself from the process? Because again, if anyone came out and did say something bad, if anyone did have claims or accusations against Reggie, and then he knows that, hey, they talked to the whole League of Legends roster, they did, like, that is not how this is supposed to go down, at least in my opinion. Maybe I'm way off here, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm an idiot, I don't know. To me, this should be completely anonymous. Reggie should not be able to tell us that the entire League of Legends roster was interviewed. That doesn't make any sense. That blows my mind. That is crazy to me. And I think that has to put a giant asterisk on this whole thing. If there wasn't one already, that's not even, to me, that's not even the biggest kind of question mark about this whole thing, but that's certainly one of them. If you're claiming that players and past employees and current employees or whatever are being kind of fairly investigated and interviewed and all this stuff, it's got to be an environment where they are anonymous and able to really speak their minds freely without fear of recourse, without fear of reprimand, without fear of, consequences or actions being taken against them. And it doesn't seem like that was the case here. Again, maybe I'm way off, but I really don't think so. I've been thinking about this. This came out a couple hours ago. I've had some time to think before I sat down for this one. But anyway, while going through the process, I realized that I need to improve on the way that I communicate with team members. Over the years, I've prided myself on having a management style that is direct, open, and honest. Honest being a funny word there. However, as the company has grown, it's become increasingly clear that my current communication style is not effective at times. I want to be the best CEO and leader that I can be, and I've learned that there are many ways that I can improve my communication and delivery when offering feedback. I frustratingly ask my team members about their work and what value it creates, and at times saying their work creates no value. I understand that this can and does make people feel as if I think they are worthless. And again, very, very carefully worded PR bullshit, because again, he's not being accused. No one came out and said, Reggie said that I create no value. People did probably say that, but they also said a little bit more. They also took it up a couple notches to you saying some other stuff, to you saying some very, very different things that paint a whole different picture. To me, this whole paragraph now starts to read like one of those YouTube apologies where they come out and they're like, I'm so sorry for my actions. I cannot believe some of the things I said. I was so wrong. I just wanted to be the best I could be. And now I know that I need to make a change. And it's even worse because it's just in text. This isn't even a video. This isn't even him coming out and making it. This is just something that he maybe didn't even type up and then tweet it out. It's just weird. It's just bad. And every time a YouTuber or a social media person, whatever, comes out and makes one of the apologies, people meme on them. People make fun of them. So, hey, we just got to do the part of critiquing this to the fullest extent and to the extent that it deserves at the end of the day. He said, this is not my intent, and I am sorry. The bottom line is that my tone and delivery matters. When I communicate with team members in ways like this, the result can be demotivating. And again, demotivating, I think, is a weird word there. I think it can be way, way, way worse than demotivating. I think it can be, toxic, unhealthy, I don't know. It means a lot to these people. Obviously, not everyone is in the position of Reggie, where they are a however many millionaire, making all this money, having all this success, having everything. There's people at the bottom that are being potentially, if these allegations are true, really hurt by this whole thing. So that's kind of a weird word to me. But he does say, in addition, there were concerns raised about me calling employees names. We started this company 12 years ago, and a few people would joke around with each other, giving each other nicknames such as Pokemon names or calling each other bots. Since then, our company has grown exponentially, and I'm proud of the diverse group of employees who work with us, including many who do not have the same background that I do. With some of these early employees, we still tease and call each other names, but I understand this can make others uncomfortable and feel excluded, especially when they don't have context. That said, I will be more mindful of others and being inclusive while still maintaining a fun culture. Fun culture seems like exactly what they got going on there. Again, I think this is really cherry-picked. I don't think anyone ever came out and was like, oh my gosh, they call each other Pokemon names. Oh my gosh, they call each other bots at the office. I'm sure if somebody was, calling out or accusing them of calling each other names, it was probably a little bit worse than this, but who knows? That's just, that isn't even a big point at all in this whole thing, I don't think. But here is what I think is actually kind of interesting. He says, moving forward, I will be working with an executive coach to improve my communication and make sure that our company culture supports and motivates our employees to achieve both company goals and their personal goals. In order to make sure our company holds all employees, including me, accountable, I am working with members of my executive team to implement several company-wide initiatives, including a 3-month top-to-bottom full evaluation of our company culture. This will be a collaborative effort, and all employees, no matter their role, will play a significant part in this important initiative, implementing an anonymous reporting hotline. There you go. There's the anonymous. So they do acknowledge that anonymous reporting is very, very vital and key. But it doesn't seem like that was necessarily held up throughout all this investigation. I don't know. Maybe the wording at least leaves a gray area. Facilitating consistent and ongoing employee workshops. I began my professional esports journey as a teenager. Now, over a decade later, I'm the proud founder and CEO of the world's most valuable esports organization. I'm grateful for the opportunity to push my company to the next level. I will take this challenge with the same drive and determination that brought TSM here. It's very important to be open and honest with you, our fans and community. Make sure you hear the truth directly from me. Although it is uncommon, I would like to share our investigation summary to be fully transparent. And this is like nothing. The investigative summary, just says pretty much everything he said already. I don't really think it's like, oh wow, Reggie, thanks for sharing that, man. He hypes it up like, oh, although this is uncommon, like, oh, it's uncommon to just post exactly what I just said in the tweet longer, except in kind of more like legal jargon and stuff like that. I don't know, super, super weird. Overall, I think this is really dumb. I do think it's kind of interesting. They're saying they're going to have all these initiatives and stuff put in place, and ultimately, if this leads to some positive changes over at TSM, I think that'd be awesome. I think that'd be a great thing. But also, at the end of the day, talk is very, very cheap. I'm going to need, and not just me, they're not trying to please me. Who gives a fuck about me? Everyone is going to need some action. They're going to need to see some results. They're going to need to see some change before they're like, oh wow, congratulations for typing in a tweet longer that you're going to change things. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, there is the allegations and stories out there that, they brought in a new HR person. The HR person saw they were doing some crazy fucked up shit and wanted to make some changes, and then they got let go like a week or two later, or they left a week or two later or whatever. So it sounds like even when they've tried to implement some change in the past, at least potentially, at least allegedly, it's been kind of met with some pushback, met with some combativeness from everyone's side. Change is tough. Change is hard. People set in their old ways. It's not always going to change super, super easily. But I also think it's interesting here that, Reggie says, hey, the investigation came up. We found nothing. But then he goes into 3 paragraphs or 2 paragraphs or whatever about, how he needs to improve his communication and how he's talked to people badly and treated them poorly or whatever. So maybe even in some ways admitting to a lot of that other allegations, a lot of stuff that some people have said. But who knows for sure. Overall, I thought this whole post was kind of stupid, kind of means nothing. Obviously, the memes have come out. Double Lift replied and ratioed him by saying, terrible person, plus you investigated yourself, plus no friends, plus ratio. There's a bunch of posts like this saying, great job, always knew you were clean as fuck. All those verbal abuse videos were edited and the employee statements were just fabricated. So glad your own investigation and yourself went so well. You're the best. TSM, TSM, TSM. We investigated ourselves clearly and we cleared ourselves of any wrongdoing. There's all that going on. That's largely what I think this is. This whole thing was pretty dumb, pretty stupid. And again, Reggie with, 250,000 followers, he's got 700 likes on this after 3 hours. Doesn't sound like too many people are buying it. Doesn't sound like too many people, for them, it's at least an adequate conclusion to this whole thing. Thankfully, we still have the LCS or Riot or whatever investigation going on, I do believe, and I don't think we have the results out from that yet. Still, even then, I would keep your expectations tempered because it's not like Riot doesn't have incentives. It's not like Riot and the LCS doesn't have biases here. TSM's a huge organization. TSM's made them a ton of money. Who knows? Whole thing's a mess. Whole thing's really weird. Whole thing's really dumb. But that's pretty much it for this video today. Definitely drop a like if you guys did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this whole thing. Is this a good conclusion for you? Do you think Reggie is all clean, all good to go? We can move on. Or do you think maybe there's still more to be told in this story? I don't know. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.